You ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's do it. Hey everyone, welcome to a new series. Missy's gonna be my first guest on this one. I'm calling it right now. How'd you do it? That's the first question I always get. Everyone always gets is when someone closes a deal or when someone gets a listing. How'd you do it? How'd you do it? How'd you do it? So I'm gonna sit down. I think Missy has a great story today. Executed it flawlessly about how she got her most recent listing. So Missy, if you don't mind, kind of walk
I
us
don't
through
mind.
that process.
So I had an amazing family that I helped probably about a year and a half ago
Okay.
sell their personal house. And, something occurred that she ended up getting a sixth family that we had to wait for it to go through, the estate probation and things of that nature. So I had some time to really talk her through it as we were going through the process, as she was, getting everything settled in probate. And when it finally was time to list it, I just kind of, sat down with her and told her what my expectations were, what I wanted. I wanted the tenants and everybody to work together as a team. You want to go into it. You have to understand it's not just because it's a tenant that is their home, and you have to treat it as such. This is going to be a change for them. Yes, I'm there for my seller 150%, but I also have to take into effect emotions, feelings. So once I got everybody on the same page, I really hoped I was going to hit it out of the park at the open house. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to have to do multiples at this property. I didn't want to interfere with these people's lives like that. But I did notify them ahead of time that, listen, I will never do one showing. It will always be a group of people that come through. I will never disturb them just for 15 minutes. These people have to clean their houses. They have to, organize the time. That's not fair. So all the expectations were set. I had a nice, text group chat with everybody. Everybody was included in it along with the seller, so everybody was always on the same page. And I have to say, I think like the best offer kind of fell in our lap.
That's perfect. But I think you orchestrated that best offer on that one. And we're going to talk about right now how this listing tees up your other listing. And you ran that one so flawlessly. And again, because there was strategy and intent behind everything you did. So as much as you feel like that offer fell into your lap, I think it was everything you did up prior to that offer that led to it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I got to say, we had a great cash offer. And I really knew my client didn't want to have to go through, having the property appraised and, home inspections and all kinds of things that go along with when it is, a more intricate deal. Mm-hmm. She wanted a cash offer. She wanted to close this chapter. So I told her I will do everything I can. Got plenty of offers, reviewed them all. There were, banks I had to call, things of that nature. And then this magic gem fell into my lap. And it was, I have to say, there was probably just one thing on it. They wanted to know the age of the roof, who did it, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we didn't have that. But, with talking to my client, we were willing to have a company come out. So instead of me picking a company, because, and not everybody's going to trust us, I called the buyer's agent. Okay. I said, is there a company that you trust? A company you've worked with that you can make your buyers comfortable with me picking to come out and review this roof? And he said, actually, yes, there is. So I got the number. I called that exact company. Said, I would really like you to just come out and review this. No problem. Came out. They did find some discrepancies. And honestly, my client turned around and said, I'll fix it.
Okay.
I'll pay to fix it.
Yeah.
Kept it nice and smooth, start to finish, under 30 days.
That's a flawless closing. I don't think you can ask for anything else. And the reason your client was probably so quick to say yes to everything is the expectation you set where, hey, listen, if this roof is bad or if something comes up, here are our options.
Yeah, and could I have sat there and nickeled and dimed everybody in this process? Probably. Mm-hmm. But that's not how she wanted to end it with integrity, and so did I. Mm-hmm. So we decided, no, listen, the roof needs to be fixed. We don't have time to fix it before this closes, but we're willing to pay. Mm-hmm. And we did.
Perfect. So now how did that closing lead into the next one?
So, unbeknownst to me, I guess the neighborhood is kind of paying attention to what we do.
No, that's important to realize. Everyone around is always watching.
Yeah, I didn't really obviously your plate if people walk by you,
Hmm.
things of that nature. But I sent out the just sold postcards,
Hmm.
and I had somebody reach out, and it's almost right across the street.
Yeah.
And he said to me that I guess he had spoken to the tenants
Okay.
at Mayan and said how I made it, a nice flow for them and how I ran things. And honestly, I wasn't sure, like the way we had spoke, I wasn't sure if I was being still interviewed per
Hmm.
se. And I wasn't. He was like ready to sign. When I walked in that building, I had the paperwork ready to go and he signed.
Because I think what's important here is that the tenants, while I think a lot of agents forget about them or think they get in the way or they make things difficult, they become your cheerleaders if you can do it right.
And I think we have to remember too, they may be a tenant today, but they could be a buyer tomorrow.
Yeah. They may
So,
know someone else. They may have an aunt, an uncle, or brother who's
so
ready to buy or
why
sell.
do I want to break that bridge with people? I don't. These people talk.
Yeah.
So they're gonna say, "Hey, that agent was awful, treated us awful, didn't let us know what was going on." I'll be honest with you, even down to the fact, once I had a fully executed purchase and sales, the tenants knew before the world did. I made sure they knew. I made sure I notified them, and then I hit it under contract on our MLS so other people knew. But I felt they deserved to know first.
I think that's important. I think that's what keeps a transaction together, but it also treats people like humans.
It does, and they are. They are. Me personally, and I told them, and I would acknowledge it in every single one of my text messages. I know, it's difficult having strangers in your home. I will make it as simple as possible.
And I think that that's a fear for a lot of landlords is they don't want to sell their building because they're worried about again not getting rent or the deal
Right.
not going through or they just feel bad for their tenants. But if you can handle it the way you did and kind of control it a little bit and work with them, it makes the process easier for everyone. The landlord, the tenants, you, the new buyers. It becomes a seamless transaction where it doesn't have to be so contentious.
I gotta tell you, I think the entire time I was dealing with my first initial North Main, I was always waiting for like a shoe to drop because I'm like, this is such a beautiful transaction. I think it was my first one that was that beautiful.
And that's a six family,
It
by the way.
was.
We're not talking about a two family with this two tenants. That's six
Six.
tenants, six personalities, and you're
Yeah.
able to work with all of them, get into all the units. And I believe the new landlord is gonna keep a lot of them, or if not all of them, for right now.
Yeah, actually, his goal is to keep them
Yeah.
all, which I do understand that, when you're paying the prices for real estate that you are,
Mhm.
if the rent is below market, it does need some adjustment, and the tenants knew that. And I had told them, yeah, there may be some adjustments, guys, but at the same time, they have to give you written notice. They have to, it's not automatic. It's not the
Mhm.
minute I walk through that door, now you're going to pay me, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have to be like that. We
Mhm.
can do this in a way that, you have a little bit of time. You knew the minute I walked through that door that this could happen. So it
Mhm.
always gives you a chance to like, what's going to be my next step? Am I gonna stay here and see what the new landlord's gonna do? Should I start looking for somewhere else? Maybe it's time to buy. You never
Yeah.
know.
And again, you give them control of their life.
Right.
It's not like again, this one went 30 days from start to finish. The whole thing probably took around what 60 or so, 45 from when they first met you to the
Right.
end. So it wasn't like overnight tomorrow,
No.
hey, your rent's doubling.
Nope.
They had a couple months or at least a month to emotionally prepare for it
Right.
and then look and see what else is out there. Maybe they want to move, maybe they want to consider other options. But I
Right.
think what you do is you let them know their rights because tenants have rights. As much as people don't want to say it or whatever it is, tenants have rights. You're not changing rents and tripling it tomorrow the next day. I think it's important that you educate them as well. And again, go in with a clean slate with the new landlord and figure it out. Can communicate.
It's not telling our tenants we're doing it and being like, oh, we don't want to show that apartment. It just makes people wonder, what are we hiding? Why do you want to go into a transaction with deceit?
Mm-hmm.
That's just going, it makes it messy, makes it muddy, not necessary. I understand if, Monday I have a showing at the property and you cannot be home, you're not comfortable with not being home during showings. Okay, I can skip yours for that day. That's understandable. But we can't skip it every time. So
Yeah.
what I did with my photographer as well is made sure we were in every single unit. We did video, we did photography. So if we did miss unit 1 that day, I can show you the pictures, to kind of stop that,
Where it doesn't look like we're intentionally hiding
No.
something or omitting something or trying to dissuade them.
Listen, I get colds, COVID is out there. There's different things that make me not want you in my house.
Yeah.
And I understand that. It can't be consistent. We can't always, turn our nose up to
Mhm.
it or whatever the case may be. But if you go into it with honesty, they'll feel that.
That's
And I got to
important.
say, these people were so good.
They felt it, and in turn, that new landlord that had the building across the street trusts you now, and you got that listing.
He did. And I plan on being in every single unit tomorrow. That was something I was very firm with him about when we met.
Mhm.
All units need to be showed. You do not want offers that have, subject to seeing blah, blah, blah. It just adds time. Time is money.
Time kills deals.
Certainly does. And you taught me that way, way early in my
Time kills
career.
deals. No, that's awesome. All right, well, we can wrap it up here. Best of luck to your
Thank you.
new listing. If anyone has a multifamily that they want to sell, Missy's an expert. She's an expert at
Thank
handling
you.
the tenants, and she will handle it with grace and care, which is an important part of when you're dealing with multifamilies, is working and collaborating with tenants to make that transaction as smooth for the landlord, as smooth for the new buyer, and as smooth for the tenants as possible. So, Missy, if you want to plug yourself.
Guys, you know where to find me. You can look me up on Revolv. You can give me a call, 774-488-4982. Love to have a conversation with you.
Perfect. Maybe you can be like the multifamily queen or something.
Maybe.
We got to get that tagline. All right. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned for more videos to come out.